I would like to ask Pete to come on up. Pete is, he's been a longtime customer of CA. He works with our engineering teams pretty consistently. And if you know anything about Pete, he has a lot of passion for this space. And welcome, Pete. Have
Greetings.
a seat.
How are you?
Great.
How are you guys? Good? Excellent.
So one of the things that we, in talking with Pete about this session at CA World, we had a lot of really good conversations coming in, did we not?
Oh,
right?
It's
So,
like, how do you make the time to talk about something that's just near and dear to your heart, right?
Exactly.
You got your own workload to do, and they just want to hear what we're doing, so
Yep. Yeah,
try and make the time.
So one of the things that our team is really grateful to you, Pete, on is giving us your insight, decades of experience in this space, and helping guide us, make sure that we're going in the right direction. And so we prepared a series of questions that I'm gonna ask Pete about, and he did see the questions ahead of time, just from a fessing up point of view. But we really do want to take the opportunity to pick Pete's brain a little bit and get your insights and any insights that you would have for the customers here who are looking to really improve their posture. So about this one, right? This is the basics, which is talk to us about how you're using the solutions today at Zions.
Well, at Zions, we have a lot of CA tools, but we also have a lot of other vendor tools. And as a security practitioner, one of the challenges you have is trying to make them all work together, right? When you start looking at different tools that really don't fit in the space, you try and make them fit, and sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But we have the ACF2 product in, and we've been in for over 25 years, so it's probably around 35 years now. But I can't take credit for putting the product in, so I inherited it. And like anything that's inherited, you have to live with what you got. Or then you spend the time in your career there to change it to make it what it should be. Now, I've worked with ACF2 for a number of years, all the way back since 1981. So I was the 33rd employee of the SKK Corporation who wrote ACF2. And I've had the privilege not only to work on the product with CA as an employee, as well as be a customer in several different organizations. I am a senior security architect at Zions Bank. So I don't do most of the administration. I do the design of how the database should work, how the products should work together, and how we can get the most use out of the products once we have them. A lot of the things that I've done, I haven't done alone in this industry. I've done with people that I've come across. One of my friends, Steve Gerhardt over there from Wells Fargo, he and I have collaborated on many, many projects over the years. And I'll tell you, both him and I have really put our foot down and said, this is what we want, and then CA delivers it. So I can tell you, I've never had a bad experience with CA when it comes to getting what I want. So I encourage you to open a dialogue with your CA rep and tell them where you're frustrated, because that's the only way these products are going to change. So like I said, I've used ACF2 for a long time, and I've made it do things that would make your head just spin, as Steve has done as well, both in the ACF2 space and in top secret as well.
Absolutely.
So I encourage you to get into a community and talk to the people that are out there.
So we want to really focus on the benefits to Zions from the business point of view, and your overall security posture. So what, give us your take in terms of the overall benefits that you're seeing from the business. How has CA been able to partner with you in order to get your business to a very good security posture?
Yeah, that's a very open-ended type of question. And everyone that's sitting here, I'm sure, has had to deal with, but I don't know. I don't know. I just write the rules. I just put it out there for them to use. The data file's been protected. It's protected. But those answers don't satisfy anybody anymore. You have to have more knowledge base, more insight into how the data is being used in an organization. And so as users of a product and as trying to solve the problem, we went to CA and said, hey, we've got a problem here. We don't know what we have. We can secure what we have, but we don't know why we're securing it. Not every file comes out with a big label on it saying, hey, I'm PCI information, or hey, I'm PII information. There's no labels on these things that say that's the kind of file they are, and that you should take more sensitive controls in place for those types of data files. So you have to assume that the data files that you're securing are secure to the degree that the organization wants. But there's no gimme there. You have to figure that out. So we went to CA with this problem, and they came to us as well. And that's how we fell into the DCD product. And I love talking about that product.
Oh, we're going to.
Are we? Okay,
We
good.
absolutely are. We absolutely are. So see that?
Oh, look at that.
See, you paid attention when we went through these. So you just queued your up beautifully for the the conversation about data content discovery. And I got to tell you, Pete, this is where I have to plug the importance of customer engagement. What Pete has brought to our team with respect to use cases and even unmet needs that we had not anticipated in terms of data content discovery. And I'm teeing you right up on this. The team has really had more insight into this area in terms of where we need to go than we really had anticipated. So I'm tossing you the softball on here now. So
I caught it, and I bought it hook, line, and sinker, and it's a good thing I did. So it answers the questions for me of where is this data in my organization. And the thing is, when you think about data, is it in a data set somewhere? What kind of data set? Is it a VSAM data set, a sequential data set? Is it a DB2 database? Where is this data? I can guarantee you every one of you sitting out there is asking the same question. Well, DCD has answers for you. That's the good thing. The only thing you have to do is take that step. And I'll explain why we took the step. Here's a product that came to us and said we have 88 classifiers right out of the box. And I'm like from Missouri. I'm really not, but I'm like from Missouri. Show me. And they did. And when you saw the previous screen, it said, well, we have 133 classifiers. That's not by accident. That's because they listened to us customers on the sprint teams, and we gave them additional things that we were looking for. Anyone can use a product and say, I can do all the things that are in this product. And Steve Gerhardt will agree with me, it's not enough. We can do all those types of things when we use the product, but we want to take it that one little step further. So one day I had a problem in my organization. I had a module that had an encryption routine in it, but I didn't know how many links I had of this module in my code. So I said, well, I got a little pocket out there that'll search, that'll scan it. And I didn't know if it would work, but I said, heck, I'll give it a try. So we built a classifier and said, look for every link case in this module that has this name in it. And I'll tell you, I was skeptical. I said, no, it ain't gonna work. And less than a minute later, it came back and told me, I have 11 links in this routine. Now, how long, when the code's like gigantic like that, do you think it was going to take you to find those 11 links? It would have taken me over a week to find it going through all that code. So it saved me a week's worth of work to do that. And He did it in a matter of minutes. The nice thing about DCD is that you can drop its discoveries into an Excel spreadsheet, and you can use the data in other programs. It never tells you exactly what's there, but that the classifier was matched. So you have to go into that area and look at it. Because then, what good would it be of a tool to us, right? It would be taking a copy of our data and putting it somewhere else. This product doesn't do that. And another thing that I love about the product is it runs in a specialty engine in ZOS. So the overhead is, you can't even measure it most of the time. But it is measurable. You will be able to measure it, and you just add a little bit more here and take a little way there, and off to the races you go. When she told you that you'll be up and running in a day, she wasn't joking. You don't have to know the product. The product knows your organization. It'll set up the security rules for you. You don't have to even figure that out. Now, ain't that a kick in the butt? I spent all my day writing rules, and then here's this product going and writing my rules for me. So, and then uses the newer techniques within security, like role-based. So it does all these things for you, right? And it tells you he's doing it all along the way. Another thing I was interested in finding out with DCD was I play with this thing every single day. The only bad thing about the product is you can't keep your hands off of it. There's just so many things that come to your mind and say, without DCD, I was lost. I was lost in mountains and mountains of data that I couldn't really get a grip on. And now I say I was lost and now I'm found. And this is cool. This is cool stuff because it all runs as Java code, and it's like, oh. So think about that for a second. I asked Marie about this. Are you guys working to put this elsewhere in other platforms? Because it's Java after all, right? So don't be surprised if you don't see a similar routine coming out elsewhere, because again, it's Java. So we love it from that respect as well. So we're moving right along with this product.
So we're going to pivot a little bit here. So, we've talked a lot about obviously data centricity, and the importance of data, right? This is still top of mind to a lot of customers, right? Which is, there's still a big belief, right, around mainframe. If the mainframe is the most secure platform, why should we be concerned about any of this? Why should we be concerned about security?
Anyone want to take that question? Yeah, I didn't think so. Oh yeah, Steve will take it. You're known from presentations that have been done all around different conferences that you may have attended, and saying that the mainframe is not hackable. You can't hack the mainframe. Well, as you heard, you're going to have a speaker here that's going to tell you just how you can do that, how people can do that. IBM, I was just at an IBM conference in the beginning of the week, and we were talking about hacking things like 3270 emulators and having a blast doing that. So, and that's what I like to do. I like to look at things from the technical aspect. And ZOS has a lot of technical things in it that relate to security, but you're not securing. You're not securing because those pieces of code are really outside the framework of your enterprise manager, security manager. So you have to look at how you get involved into that area to ensure that you have a presence, right? And as an architect, we have to look at these types of things. We have to look at things like TCP/IP stack. We have to look at things like ports that are open and sitting out there. So again, I went to DCD and I said, hey, I'm going to do a netstat, and I want you to take the netstat output and look for open. So anything that comes back and says open, I got a problem with, because I got an open port with nothing associated to it. Does that concern anybody sitting here? And if it doesn't, then it should, because now I have a back door, and you don't want to give me a back door. You don't want to give Steve Gerhardt a back door. because we'll create a little routine and we'll make you a happy person. Okay?
All right. So I want to talk about compliance just for a moment.
Ooh.
Yeah. So one of the numbers that we didn't put up there when you were looking at some of those number slides is a number that we've heard from a lot of CIOs who we go out and speak with, especially in the last year, around the cost of compliance. And what a lot of them are telling us is that they're spending up to a third of their time and people costs just around their compliance posture. So the question to you, Pete, is around how focused is Xion's on this, and what sort of tools do you have in place in order to help with the compliance posture and the cost of compliance?
We have several different departments at Xion's that deal with compliance. Probably not as technical as the Steve Gerhardts and myself are, but they are still there, and they do have something to say. And when they say something, we listen and try to determine whether we can provide the information that they're looking for. But because they talk at this pie-in-the-sky level, it makes it much harder to develop any type of controls regarding what they're asking for. I work in a bank, and so does Steve. So working in banking, we're constantly being audited, constantly. If I don't have an auditor in my face once every week, I would be concerned. I would think I'm in trouble for something. But I usually have an auditor in my office at least every week talking about some other area, and are we in compliance with this? Are we in compliance? They don't know what it means. And they look to us to come up with the answers of what that really means. What does compliance really mean? If you go up to anyone in your organization and ask them, what is PII? They're going to look at you and they're going to say, personal identity, I don't know, inclusion. You know, they'll make up something. And PII, they should know what it means because they deal with it on a daily basis. You don't want your information stolen about you, so you should know what PII, PCI, and PHI, especially PHI. I wouldn't want everyone to know that I'm removing a freckle. You know, that's none of their business. That's PHI, right? I don't want anyone to know what my address is. That's PII, right? And then when you look at PCI, you're going, oh, wait a minute, that's a government type of thing. We don't need to know about that. And it's not a government thing. It has nothing to do with the government. It has to do with guidelines associated to credit cards and information stored on those credit cards. So when people say, oh, I got data, my data has been lost because they got all these credit card databases, and that they're talking about PCI. So we have to be in compliance with the PCI guidelines.
So Pete, I know that this is a question that is near and dear to your heart, which is around the security project process flow, and some of the things that you've done at Xion's around this. So would you like to share that with?
Yeah, like I said, I've been in this industry for a while, and one of the things that bother me, there is no flow. There is no flow to how you do something, right? How do you do something from when a project starts to a project ends? So what I did is I sat down and I said, it's time that we build a security posture around processes. So how many processes do you have to complete a project, right? So I have a stage one within my process that says we're collecting all the requirements, right? And part of collecting requirements and you identifying with those requirements is you're now starting to build in your mind the security posture that's going to be associated with that particular project, right? So I've been working with CA to help me identify this a little bit stronger so that when I start a project, I can associate it to a number and start building my security around achieving the goals that come up within that particular process flow. It's still in design phase, but I'm sure that with working with CA and assisting in them, what my ideas are here, we'll come to a conclusion on it.
So, so Pete, we're right at the end of our time here.
Whew.
And you know, just a couple parting comments, and just an ask of all of you. You know, we have, you know, the best and the brightest from our team here this week, you know, right here in the booth behind you. We gave you a very quick review of where we're going, where we're headed, gave you insight into our roadmaps. What we really need is we need you to engage with our team, ensure that, you know, the things that are keeping you up at night, the things that are top of mind around your security and compliance posture are the things that our team needs to hear in order to make sure that we're moving forward and we're delivering the capabilities and the things that you need, and that we emerge as thought leaders in this space. And that's what you're expecting of all of us. And please, by all means, take advantage of customers like Pete. You know, he is here graciously this week. And part of that is to share his experiences with all of you and to network and to help solve problems together. So we appreciate all of your time. Thank you so much for coming to this session, and we hope that you enjoy the rest of the conference.
Get involved.
Thank you.
Get involved.